Hi everyone, and welcome back to Sapphire and Steel, the audiobooks produced by Big Finish, which, as I stated in my previous video, now long out of their catalogue. Like before, this is a quick overview video of all 6 stories that make up Season 2, and of course the videos of the storylines will follow after this one. So, here we are on Season 2, bit of a mixed bag this. There are some stories in this I do like, and there are some stories I'm not particularly keen on, I'm going to be honest. And, well, there we go. So let's crack on and take a quick look at the first story, The School. This is a bit of a peculiar story. I don't fully comprehend it. I got a bit fed up with it in places where the dialogue was repeating over and over, and I found it just a bit of a tiresome bore, to be honest. And I'll give The School 5 out of 10. And on that note, I shall now press on to the next story, but just before I press on to the next story, here's the details of the story of The School. It was a very peculiar story. That's all I can say. Very peculiar. And I think on that note, I'm going to press right on to the next one. And here it comes. So here we are at the second story, The Surest Poison. And this was, for me, my personal favourite story. Fantastic. Really like this particular story of this season. My favourite all-time story. 10 out of 10. Classic Sapphire and Steel with a touch of modern Sapphire and Steel. Marvellous. Really enjoyed this one. And without further ado, the usual synopsis of the storyline before we proceed to push on to the next story of Season 2. Yep, this one, fantastic. So let's push on, shall we, to the next one. So, as we push on to story number 3 in Season 2, we arrive at Water Like a Stone. And we meet another one of Sapphire and Steel's kind, Ruby. Ruby seems to have the same abilities as Sapphire. To what extent, we don't really know, but she clearly has some. And she's very fond of music. And this is definitely a bit of a musical story. And it was a good one. And I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. And as usual, here comes the background to the story before I move on to story number 4. And oh my, this is going to be a bit of a tricky one. And it's all coming up very shortly. Well, here we are at story number 4 from Series 2, Cruel Immortality. Well, I think I've got to grips with this one a bit more now, because I only listen to these stories on and off. It's a bit of a confusing story, it is, Cruel Immortality, but it is quite a good story. Just one little bit in it I wasn't too keen on, but apart from that, overall, yeah, it was quite a good story. And I'm going to give Cruel Immortality 7 out of 10. I like the touch that they meet old nemesis, referencing to the original TV series as well is in there. And Sapphire and Steel have an argument. And this argument takes place after the last adventure in the audiobooks. Quite interesting. So here we go as usual. Here's the storyline of this. Well, just 2 more to go, and they are coming up very shortly in this series. Yeah, not bad. Let's press on. So we are now at story number 5, set on a luxury yacht, The Perfect Day, which incidentally is the actual title of story number 5, Perfect Day. And it was a good one. I really enjoyed it, and it was a welcome return to gold. Yes, gold is back in this particular story. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. Great story. Along the lines of classic Sapphire Steel, this one. Marvellous story. And I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. So what follows is the usual synopsis of the story before I finally wrap this up with the last story of season 2. And well, we'll get there very shortly. In the meantime, Perfect Day. Marvellous story. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So let us press on to the next one. Well, here we go. The final story of season 2, Sapphire Steel audiobooks. The Mystery of the Missing Hour, and this was an absolute bore. It was awful. It really was. The ending wasn't too bad, but overall it was a bad one, and I can only award this story 3 out of 10. Yep, that's how bad it was. 3 out of 10. Ugh. It should have been a lot shorter. A lot shorter. It really should. It was way too long, and it was a total bore fest. Okay, so upcoming is the storyline to this boring story. And a quick recommendation for anyone looking out for Season 2 Sapphire Steel secondhand, obviously, because they're no longer part of the Big Finish catalogue. My recommendations would be the Surest Poison and the Perfect Day. They would be my definite recommendations. And on that note, that's it. I'm now going to be moving on to the final season, which makes up only 4 stories. And until then, have a great day. Catch you next time, folks. Goodbye.